What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out a pretty impressive ritual monster that just got revealed. This is coming out of the Collector's Pack 18, and this is actually a GX era card. I'm almost certain that Bastion used this in a duel versus Jaden. I remember watching the Twitch Marathon. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost certain that this is a Bastion card. I feel like I saw him summon this in one of his duels. Anyways, this is Litmus Doom Swordsman, and it's a level 8 Dark Warrior ritual monster, 0 attack, 0 defense. Don't freak out about the stat line. It's going to get significantly better when you get to the effect number 2. You can ritual summon this card with Litmus Doom Ritual, which is his ritual spell card, which we'll talk about in a second. Effect number 1, unaffected by trap cards, also cannot be destroyed by battle. Effect number 2, while a trap card is face up on the field, this card gains 3000 attack and defense. Effect number 3, if this ritual card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, by battle or card effect, you can target one trap and either graveyard set it. This is really good in my opinion. Like, all three of those effects are extremely practical and they just seem to be very good. Now, I do kind of wonder the way it's worded. Why does it say that if it's destroyed by battle you get to set a trap? Because in the first effect it says cannot be destroyed by battle, which is just weird. So I'm just gonna assume that this thing cannot be destroyed by battle. I mean, it having 2 layers of protection is obviously good, can't be destroyed by battle, and it's unaffected by traps. Ritual summons obviously take a heavy investment. You need a spell, you need the fodder, and then you need the monster itself. So it kind of sucks when your ritual monster just gets bottomless and torrential. Both of those cards are at 3 now, so being unaffected by those cards, pretty legitimate. Then you know, being 3000 attack for level 8 is also pretty damn solid. Now the kicker is you do have to have a trap card face up on the field. It can be either player's field, and I'm kind of thinking that you're probably going to have to run this in. You guys know those little like gimmicky trap monster decks where you run like Zoma the Spirit and Metal Reflect Slime and, you know, Tiki Curse and shit like that. That is probably the most practical way of doing it. Or I guess technically you could run this in a deck that runs like Jar of Greeds and stuff like that. So if your opponent attacks it while it has 0 attack, you flip over Jar of Greed in the battle phase, your monster goes up to 3000 attack, and you know, they essentially will probably lose their card and you get the draw. So that's actually pretty nice. I look at the third effect and its replacement. The fact is it lets you get a trap card from either player's graveyard, including your opponent's. I mean, how many cards actually let you take your opponent's trap cards? I mean, I can only think of like Totally Awesome, but I can't think of any card that lets you take a trap from your opponent's graveyard. I mean, Grave Robber did like spells, but that cost 2000 life points, and I don't know, this card looks really good on paper. I just don't think that it has the infrastructure around it to really be all of that viable, because you have to have a trap card on the field. Otherwise, you're basically playing like a glorified copy of Spirit Reaper or Marshmallow or something like that. The ritual spell card is Litmus Doom Ritual. It's a ritual spell. It says this card is used to ritual summon Litmus Doom Swordsman, and the second effect is the hard once per turn. Effect number 1, ritual summon Litmus Doom Swordsman from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or on your field whose levels total or equal, or excuse me, exceed level 8. Okay, so that's just, you know, basically every ritual monster ever. Effect number 2, and this is the really good part of the effect. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Litmus Doom Swordsman in your graveyard, shuffle both this card and the targeted monster into the deck, draw 1 card. So this is incredibly good. Not only does the monster pay for itself by getting you a trap card on your field when it dies, but then when the monster dies, the ritual spell basically puts them both back in the deck and you get the draw. So it's like, this is really good. Like, this is one of the like best ritual monsters that we've seen in a long time, that I honestly think has no chance of seeing any like legitimate play, just because you really have to run it in a deck that can kind of, you know, keep continuous trap cards on the field, or you have to find a way to have a whole bunch of like trap cards, kind of like, you know, these cards that can be activated at any time. That's why I use something like Jar of Greed, because it's not something that has to, it's not a condition that has to be met for you to activate Jar of Greed, and it instantly replaces itself. Such an excellent card that's just really, I think it's really held down by the fact that I don't think there are a ton of traps that support this other than running it in like a trap monster deck. But overall, I think the card is actually excellent. I just don't think we'll really see it in a whole bunch of decks outside of those trap monster decks. So you guys let me know what you think of this card in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.